Hey there, it's Diana from the Dianaverse, and I'm here today to do the full moon in Cancer forecast. Now, I've just figured out how to do this recording on my laptop, and I have to find the right kind of stand. So I'm hand holding this, and I apologize if it's a little shaky as I go, but thought it might streamline the process a little bit. So we'll give it a try. I want to say happy birthday to all my Capricorns out there. Um, this is your moment in the year, celebrating you on your birthday. And this moon in Cancer is going to be at about 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it will go all the way until Thursday. So we've got a good moment to bask in this energy of Cancer in the full moon. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. So Cancer is all about uh, keeping things close, being in the circle of trust is a Cancer kind of thing, right? It can be brusque to the outside world, but with family and friends, it's usually very warm and nurturing. In fact, Cancer is known for that nurturing quality. It's the sign of the Great Mother, so perfect for this kind of downtime in between the holidays of uh, the festivals of light, whichever you celebrate. It could be Christmas, could be the solstice, could be Diwali is pretty close. Um, Hanukkah is close to this time. So a lot of cultures really honored the solstice time when the days were the shortest and the night was the longest. When things are germinating, because we're going within. It's in the northern hemisphere, at least. It is the shortest daylight time of the year, also the coldest. So people would be spending time inside by the hearth, staying warm by the fires, and cooking. There's a lot of cooking this time of year. Of course, the southern hemisphere has the opposite thing going on, but I'm in the northern hemisphere, and I'm guessing most of my listeners here are too. Uh, so the Cancer Capricorn axis, we've got the balance between our industriousness, our work life in the world, and our emotional life. It's between Saturn and the moon. So it's how we keep in balance with what we have to do to survive, what we want to create, as sort of our legacy and our family connections and our deepest feelings. That is what's juxtaposed this time of year when we have the Capricorn Sun and the Cancer full moon, which is going to happen every year, but not at this exact same timing every year. This particular year, we're in between Christmas, which is when I'm recording this, and the New Year. So it's really that like going within downtime of the year this year. So Cancer can be a lot of things to do with the family. So it can be the mother figure in our lives. It can be ancestral memories that could be coming up and resurfacing at this time. It could be, if you do ancestor work, this is a really great time to do anything where you're trying to move forward along those lines. Like, I, I really find it helpful to reframe memories. Sometimes we have stories and we keep repeating them to ourselves. And I saw a study recently that said every time we bring up a memory in our brain, it's almost like when you keep re-recording a song onto different platforms and you start losing some of the details and quality, our brain actually kind of degrades a bit the memory. So you don't remember things usually quite exactly the way they happened if you keep pulling that memory up over time. And I thought that was a really interesting concept. So if you have, family stories that trigger you, or maybe you've had loss around this time of year, I know a lot of people go through that. You might try reframing the stories. Um, with compassion and understanding of people and things that people went through. This could even be cultural. If you're from an oppressed culture, you might rewrite a news story because we tend to focus on the downside, right? The things that happened that weren't so happy. And we forget about all the great qualities, like my ancestors I know went through famines and clearings and things. And, one side of that is that they're great survivors and they're very innovative in figuring out how to do things for themselves. And that's a quality I can celebrate. So if you're having some sad or down feelings around memories this time of year, you might try just pulling up from your file all the good things about the people or the things that happen. Not saying that you change it, like if something was really traumatic, that, oh, it was great for you, for whatever reason, but you can find the qualities that you can celebrate in there, like your resilience or your um, innovation or even being a survivor. So many cultures in the world are people who have survived through something because something has happened to almost every culture out there at some point. And that's a good quality to celebrate. So hopefully you'll be celebrating in the present with family or chosen family. And I hope that that's harmonious with the Sagittarius. You've got Mars and Mercury that are conjunct, and Sagittarius can be a bit fiery. Mercury is in retrograde, so there could be delays, there could be snafus, there could be miscommunications, misfires. Try not to get too caught up in that and over the top. There's also nice aspects, though, to Neptune. Well, Neptune has good aspects and bad aspects at the moment. It's not in a good aspect to the Mercury and Mars, so there could be some aggravation over that, but it is on good aspects to like Uranus, sudden breakthroughs. Neptune is about intuition, so if you're having some delays or miscommunications, try tuning into the intuition and you might find a sudden opening of something that works out for you. So if that comes up for you, go with your feelings, not to boil over, but to find the smooth way through. We've got Jupiter that's just about to go direct. It's going to go direct at the very end of the month, and Jupiter is in Taurus. So during the retrograde, you might have felt that maybe some things weren't working out. That really depends. Like for me, I have Jupiter retrograde in my natal chart. So actually, I had good things happen. I had money that came through. That's Jupiter in Venus, and some opportunities that came up. So that could have come up for you during this time, and now that might taper off a little bit. But some other people with it going direct, if Jupiter is direct in your chart, you can find that some things open up and you start to expand your feelings of well-being, and just be careful not to spend too much money. Jupiter and Venus can be a little spendy, so if you're having any financial stuff, you might want to kind of be careful of that, not to overdo it, right? Jupiter can overdo things. But it's a great time for being comfortable in your house, maybe nesting a little bit, having nice celebrations with family and friends, good meals as we get into the new year. We're starting the year out with Mercury in retrograde, that Sagittarius fiery Mercury. So we can be thinking a lot about, or even talking to people a lot, communicating, writing about our goals and our plans. And Mars is giving us the energy to really focus on that, and that's all great. Just be careful to, or be aware of talking to your audience. I can see that I'm going to be really shaky. You have to find a good stand for this. This is really great though, because I can look at the camera and also see the chart on my computer at the same time. So I don't know how many of you out there like seeing the chart for the current chart at these new and full moons. If you do, comment below and I can include that more in my videos. I wasn't sure if everybody was into that, so I haven't been doing that. I've kind of been spotty about it, but yeah, let me know. Where was I? So yeah, choose your audience. So um, the moon can be about the people too. So you want to find your tribe, so to speak. You know, that's the saying. But your group of people that you resonate with, and those are the people to talk to about your plans. I still feel like this is, we're still under that nice aspect with Saturn in Pisces, finding a mentor. That means talking to somebody who's doing the things that you are aspiring to do, someone that can give you some good advice. This is a great time to find somebody out there in that sea of humanity. So if you're looking for that, this is still a really good time that Saturn is still positively aspecting the Mercury and Mars, where you could maybe you have somebody you admire and you contact them and they might respond. There might be some delays in the communications right now because Mercury's still in retrograde, but it will be moving forward after the beginning, or I think it's the middle of January. No, it's only 3 weeks, so early in January. Anyway, I didn't look up that date. Mercury will go direct again and our communications will kind of clear up. But I have found, not just for me, but for a lot of people, that Mercury retrograde this time in Sagittarius has been going back into things and getting them resolved. Mercury retrograde can do that too. Like with new things, something you just saw and you want to buy, you want to read that contract real careful in Mercury retrograde. But if you've been looking for something for a while or you've had an ongoing situation, I know I wrapped up finally this car accident that I had in June that took a long time to get the repair done. And then I had to pay the deductible because the other person claimed it wasn't their fault. And I just got a check last week right when Mercury went retrograde, getting back that money, which I didn't think I was going to see. So it can be things that get resolved, and surprisingly, where you didn't think that it was going to go that way. So I've seen that for a couple people, this particular Mercury retrograde. And I hope if you have something ongoing, that happens for you. So Pluto is still there, shaking things up between that Uranus still in Taurus and Venus in Scorpio. So there could be some deep things that kind of goes along with our ancestral and family memories, stuff that comes to the surface. You might learn something new that you didn't know, especially on the feminine side of your family. And we all have masculine and feminine, so it could just be things that you didn't know that change your perspective on things, and hopefully in a good way or with compassion. And with that moon in Cancer and the Uranus in Taurus, that's a good combination, especially with that Pluto in the mix for things like mudslides, earthquakes, something to do with water, tsunamis that hopefully there won't be too much of that in the world, but these are the kind of aspects where that sort of thing might come up. So if you live in a flood or earthquake zone, you might just, have your preparedness kit or whatever, and hopefully it won't be any big deal. Something to be aware of. The North Node is in Aries, and we've also got Chiron in Aries, which is going direct, I think in the next day or so. So that's about yourself, right? It can be about the head if you've got any kind of like weird things going on in your head. Chiron goes direct. The situation will be resolving for the better, hopefully. The North Node also is like what we're striving for, what we're moving towards. So it can also just be about your own projects, something you're doing on your own, where whether you're working on healing or it's just a lot of people have woundedness around their careers, right? Like what you want to do in the world, like what you have to do versus what you want to do. So there could be some really good thoughts that come through, some action you can take that's going to help you move towards that. And my arm is getting tired. I'm definitely going to have to find a table or a stand for this thing. Anyway, so the plant friends that I've been thinking about for this lunation are kind of respiratory things this time of year, because I was thinking about like Sagittarius, fire can be inflammation. I know there's a lot of viruses going around this time of year. There's that rise in the new COVID variant, which is probably going to happen every year from here on out. But this is the time where it tends to be stirred up. So mullein mixed with cinnamon as a tea, I think that's a good for the lungs. Also around the holidays, there can be grief. In Chinese medicine, the lungs represent grief. So it's not exactly the body part that goes with Sagittarius necessarily, but I just kind of put those things together. If you've got family grief or trauma around the holidays, or you're just around a lot of people and you might pick up a virus and get an inflamed situation like an infection. I think mullein mixed with cinnamon is a good tea to be taking right now. And for the crystal suggestion for this lunation, I'm going to say celestite to give us that like solstice-y, Christmassy feeling. If you've ever seen celestite, it's a pale blue kind of quartz that has little tiny facets, and it's very sparkly and just a very pretty, uplifting kind of stone. And that's a nice one to put on your altar, or if you have a necklace or something to wear at this time. And I think with that, that's about wrapping up what I had for this lunation. I'm just squinting at the computer to see if there was any big things I missed. And I think that's about it. All right. Happy holidays, y'all, whatever you celebrate. And I will look forward to seeing you again in the new year. All right. Bye.